Greetings once more. It's I, Captain Dracovin here at the Dracovin Empire, and welcome, heading back into Golarion. Are you guys ready to learn about another ancestry? Certainly one you can't play, but an ancestry, a being, of Golarion nonetheless. What do I mean by this? Well, we're heading to the forests, mountains, or wherever, maybe even some icy northern areas, and learning about trolls. So, adventurers out there, get your great swords ready, your spell books, a few potions, a few vials of acid, and maybe a few vials of alchemist fire. I mean, those wizards prepare your fireballs, definitely. We're facing trolls in this country. We're heading down Golarion way, talking about the trolls. Yes, it's troll time! Boop, 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 boop. Troll time! Troll time! Troll time! Troll time! So, where can we dive in information about trolls beyond what I'm talking about, including some of the variations? Well, Classic Monsters Revised does have some basic troll information along with campaign settings. Monster Codex, also. Those are the three for first edition you're going to look to. And for second edition, certainly speaking, you want to do the second edition Bestiary 2 or the Monster Core, as it is now. Those will kind of be your place to do it, especially because we do have some updates in Monster Core. Now, the average troll we know about are the forest trolls, the most common trolls there are. So we're going to try to talk about the trolls as a large overall group, but we are going to focus on our more common, mostly known trolls, forest trolls. So we're going to focus on the ones most people are going to encounter 99% of the time, but we will talk about some other ones too. Alright, here's a troll friend. What are these things? They're giants, monstrous, rough ties, clawed hand, bestial face, tusked underbite, regenerating all damage as long as you're not using fire or acid on them. They can regrow from the tiniest scraps of flesh, at least according to the stories that they can, and other trolls have other elements. That's the troll! Gnarly giants who live on the fringes of civilizations, using strength to overpower their foes, their claws, their tooths, usually depending on the type of troll, from 12 to 16 feet tall, hunched over for a little bit of comfort, and to lull their foes into security. Creatures of the forest, linked in flesh and blood to the verdant habitats they consider their territory, at least for forest trolls. If a forest troll is killed, its flesh turns to blackened lumps of charcoal that still glows like coals. They roam far and wide, more than any of their kin, and the forest trolls are, in fact, the first thing someone thinks of when someone says troll. Not that they're the only thing, there are other trolls. Typically, for trolls, though, the male will actually be a little bit shorter than the female. The females are a little bit larger, weightier, a couple feet bigger. And all of them will hunt you over. Slaving, cruel, invincible. If you were to talk to a visitor, a villager, about a troll that lives nearby, those are the words that would be used. And this is, to a degree, true. Yes, troll's flesh will just keep growing and growing and growing and growing, and sometimes they'll sprout extra limbs, extra heads, especially if they don't prune them away. We'll talk about some ones with extra heads and stuff too, because sometimes they actually try to get that kind of thing. And they just have this hunger, bottomless, that they must feed this growth. They're gluttons. And even if they're glutting themselves, they will, of course, taunt their prey and inflict petty cruelness. Their ability to survive, even from a small scrap of flesh and regenerate, is impressive. And basically, they regenerate pretty heavily and require very hard and powerful forces to prevent them to revive. And they will feel all that pain. But they speak of their vitality, the blessings of their creator. We'll talk about that in a second. They've heard that demons laugh at them, that their creator cursed them and threw them down, blinding them to being able to rise again. But trolls don't. And so trolls just scrap along for themselves in a lot of ways. Granted, this isn't to say that they're always alone. Female trolls raise young. Very similar to many animals, they see the males as threats to the children and that they might eat their own young, so they keep them away, and sometimes females will in fact group together, casting out any that see weakness, typically through drowning starvations. Males will be very solitary, hunting alone in caves or dark woods. But again, it's circumstantial. Females will raise the children, sometimes in groups, males alone. There is exceptions, though, sometimes to your average troll that applies to any, not just forest trolls. Some of them can survive very long periods of time, gain insight, ingenuity, making them dangerous. War leaders, as they call them, which will integrate some kind of fashioned armor under their regenerating flesh, making it tougher, and will lead raiding parties of trolls. These rare incidents where they become this powerful, where they become these war leaders, can lead to devastating raids and massacres by hordes of trolls. And their presence can damage or change an ecosystem completely. This group of trolls that this war leader is bringing together. And this link to the environment is an important part of trolls' aspects. Their link to it becomes more acute with age and power. Now, it's not going to say that they are aspects that are protectors of nature. They're voracious and territorial. And if blighting their own territory would mean eating for a day, they would do it. So, they do have a natural connection to the regions they're from. There's the variations we'll talk about later. But certainly speaking, that's troll. I like the monster core picture of troll. It's really nice. So, I mentioned demons. Why did I mention that? Well, trolls, generally speaking, believe they are created by Demon Lord Urxhel, who loves to test them by inflicting more incursions of ogres and humans, storms, forest fires, a lot of terrible things upon them to test them. But Urxhel sometimes grants the followers the power of divination in a very horrible way. Troll augurs can predict the future by gutting themselves, pulling out their entrails, and taking a look at them. Let's see here. How am I predicting the future today? Oh, well, my small intestine says this, and my large intestine says this. The future. I'm better again. That's better. Okay, we're back together. Predicting the future. Reading the omens in their entrails. It's a thing. Side note here, there is a troll feat from 1st edition that is exactly that. Tear open your gut, read the future, put it back. I don't know how much to talk about in 2nd edition. But these augurs operate in many places. In Kaer Maga and the Vile Fortress, you can find them in Eastern Vudra. And they will keep creatures as pets. Winter wolves, troll hounds. Again, I don't know how much troll hounds have been updated for Monster Core, but they will usually not treat their pets particularly well, and they require on their regeneration to survive fangs and attacks of their pets. Troll hounds would also regenerate too. In particular, in Golarion, if you're talking about where they are on the planet that is used for Pathfinder, they do have a wide region that are found throughout the Inner Sea region, particularly common in northern Avasti. This is especially forest trolls. The River Kings, Land of the Linarm Kings, Numeria, all those places have issues with trolls. In Irison, trolls are part of the population because you have the group that is basically under the control of the government there, the Frost or Ice Trolls. They helped Baba Yaga conquer Irison, so they're in the country and part of the population, and they're employed as guards in the city of Whitethrone. The largest of all troll tribes that can be found, though, is in Golarion and southern Vudra. They're known as the Misshaper Trolls and are ruled by a massive female called Zaluna. She considers herself to be the agent of their demon lord, Urxhel, and seeks to basically restore Golarion to the perfect condition of the Age of Darkness. Yeah. So, again, probably some of that stuff's not updated for Monster Core, but there might be little things here and there. I've not really had major updates for Monster Core. Let's talk about some variations. Now, we mentioned the forest trolls. They are the main ones. They're simply usually called trolls by most people. If people think about a troll, it's a forest troll. It is important to note that they are distinctly different. They have green skin. Females usually having slightly darker skin than males. So, again, they're very similar to each other, but there's small differences. There are some other variations to talk about. There are those that are alchemically enhanced, known as rock trolls, who come to a halt in sunlight and have thin plant-like moss troll, the blue-skinned ice trolls I mentioned, mountain trolls, which are more fey-like and not inherently evil like or vicious like many of the other trolls. They're usually a little more huge and powerful and live in cold mountains. And there's some other ones like sewer trolls, flood trolls, chimney trolls, the nine-headed Jotun trolls, aquatic scrags, Etten-like two-headed trolls, the ogre troll hybrids known as troggles. Yeah, there's a lot of troll variations. And again, a bunch of them show up between 1st edition and 2nd edition. How many have, if any have been removed in the remaster project, I don't know. That's kind of like they haven't necessarily mentioned any. We have a distinction between forest trolls at this point in time, but we might not get any kind of like major changes for trolls and stuff beyond that. We might just have to rely on older books and other 2nd edition things for other types of trolls. Yeah. Might just have to do that, you know? Certainly some of the more unusual trolls, like the Jotun nine-headed troll, was in Bestiary 2. So I don't know if we're necessarily going to... Same with the Frost Troll, Cavern Trolls, Troll Hound. A lot of them were there. So with a lot fewer trolls remade, they might just keep those as they were. Certainly. But that's our friends, the trolls. Well, what are called friends? I think the thing about trolls is they are creatures of their gut. They live to eat. They live to feed. And they aren't necessarily wicked creatures in and of themselves. They just will probably see you as food, honestly speaking. And their seeming arrogance for their ability to regenerate. Also, I'm sorry, it's electricity or fire in forest trolls. That's I have to mention that. Electricity or fire. They changed it from acid. I was thinking it was acid. So different elements are different resistances and overcome their regeneration. But for our common one, it's electric and fire. I guess the acid's a very classic one that I thought in my old mind. So correction in the video on myself. Sorry, hi. If anybody put in the comments, I hope you stayed around to this end here where I correct myself. Anyway, trolls certainly are they're humanoid, they're intelligent, they just are a enemy most of the time. It's just unfortunate that the fact that their outlook, they're seeing themselves as superior in a lot of ways because you can't kill them. Seeing you as just food means that they're not going to really think about you in a discussion way. Again, I think something like the Frost Trolls proves that you can get along with trolls, but the Frost Trolls are put in that position by powerful beings that basically employed them and feed them. You know? It required a Baba Yaga level of something to, in quotations, bring the trolls to civilization. It's an interesting juxtaposition for a lot of trolls. Considering what they're like and a lot of things going on with them, they're a lot of times just monsters. That's all they really are. Just monsters. You know? Maybe they can become something different. Maybe. But they're bestial creatures, and they embrace that a lot of times. Meaning that, you know, those few times that they might become more organized and forms groups, it's probably got a war leader, it's probably not really a great thing. So, you know, that'll be a problem. That's a problem for someone else. For now, I'm going to say thank you for joining me. That was a good one. I did enjoy talking about trolls. Trolls are a very interesting group because they are, well, in a lot of ways, simple. And I think this is the first of a couple of videos I'm going to do like this. I'm going to do more stuff on more monstrous species that are there. the fact is, it's not impossible sometimes to play some of these monstrous races, the ancestries, but it's going to be very uncommon and unusual too, you know, and not really your average game. And most times, these could be friends or foes. For something like the troll, probably 99% of the time it's going to be a foe. There's that 1% time it could be a friend in an adventure. I've had an adventure like that where we befriended a Scrag back in Pathfinder 1st edition. We rescued one, befriended it, and it became a bosom part of our group. It could gut itself and read the future, so it also helped with that. You know, that was something that happened because of the situation that we were in. I can't say for sure. But these will things that will speak, be intelligent, and chat. Trolls. Alright, everybody. Yeah. If you want to check out more of my stuff, all the Pathfinder stuff is up on Twitch on Thursdays. I go live to do those videos, and I put them up on YouTube a couple days later. I do other tabletop stuff over on there. My schedule is changing a little bit, so I'll keep that in mind. So you always check out these schedules, either in my Discord or anywhere else I put them. Probably put one up in YouTube at some point in time. And just make sure to check out those videos, either live with me. Alright, over there on that side. Keep doing that. Or later on YouTube. Either or is fine. If you're going on YouTube, though, please just do the YouTube stuff, like, subscribing, the bell, leave a comment. What's your interesting encounters with trolls? That's my one question today. And also, of course, if you have any suggestions for any other topics for Pathfinder or other tabletop, please leave that in the comments there, too. Other tabletop stuff I do, Crimson Queen, a Pathfinder 1st edition game on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock now, and Discussing Tabletop on Saturdays at 6. So that's a talk show, news of the week, deeper discussion topic that you can join us for. Otherwise, I think that's about it. Oh, social media, Discord, and Twitter/X, link below. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna hang out with Twitch a little bit more. And until next time, though, I bid all of you a deep farewell. Goodbye.